And for me, that was one of the most special and significant moments because, you know, Hazrat Ibrahim is the father of all the main religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. So it was incredible to see, you know, the burial site of Hazrat Ibrahim. We some people offered nafil there. We took a picture there. Everyone prayed at the qabr as well. And also the other graves that are around. Hazrat Maryam's grave was also there. And I believe it was the one of the
Hazrat Yaqub.
yeah, Hazrat Yaqub's grave was also there. That was in the city of Hebron. I think also on that same day, what else did we do? We went to Jerusalem.
We went to the tomb of Jonah as well, which was quite remarkable that some people of us, we thought that most prophets were scattered, but even in one city, that there were quite a number of key prophets, which are also mentioned in the Holy Quran and in the Bible as well, which are the most significant and the most root prophets of all religions. And all religions have similar teachings regarding those prophets. So it was quite remarkable for everyone who hasn't even studied religion, who has not even come across these names as well, to have the same feeling as of those who have studied these religions in detail.
So what were some of your something which highlighted the trip for you guys? I mean, obviously you guys went there firsthand, experienced Palestine as well, probably the first time you've actually been there, to the Middle East as well. What was some of the things that you actually, you know, took back and you were like, you know, this is something which is absolutely amazing, something that, you know, I'm going to tell everybody back home about, and definitely tell them to come and visit these places as well?
That's a difficult question because I went in February with my cousin, my brother, and a friend of ours, and this trip was different in the sense that we had some imams and some rabbis on board who were able to describe and explain some of the situations as we were walking through the places. For example, when we were in Jerusalem and we were at the Dome of the Rock, what's it called? Masjid Al-Muqaddas? No. Masjid Muqaddas. So the Dome of the Rock, the golden dome. So it's a pretty significant and quite famous, iconic place that you will find it on social media. Everyone has this picture up that's associated with Palestine, and right next to it is Masjid Al-Aqsa as well. And you know, having the imams on board, explaining the significance of, you know, the revelations that Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had, and also basically just generally walking around the old cities of Jerusalem as well, and seeing the old sites where Hazrat Isa was supposed to have been crucified, where he was put in the tomb, and where he was, you know, given the ointment.
Jesus, peace be upon him, isn't it?
Yeah, Hazrat Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, yeah. So, you know, to pick one particular point is difficult because literally the whole experience was incredible. But as I mentioned, I went first in February, but this time was different, more so because I went with all my Wakfenor brothers. You know, everyone's on the same sort of wavelength, everyone has the same sort of agenda in life. They want to sacrifice their life for Islam and humanity. So, you know, going with all the brothers, learning with them and experiencing all these things with them, and that for me was, you know, overall the experience was incredible for me. But if as I mentioned, if I was to pick out one or two specific moments, I think walking around Jerusalem, which is, you know, such a significant site, and you see Jews and Arabs literally side by side. You know, when you're walking through the old markets, you have one alleyway in the markets which is purely just majority Jews, and they'll have their stalls, and the other side they have the Arabs. We didn't get to walk through there, but when I went in February, you could see literally all the Arabs and, you know, Palestinian iconic or significant, you know, souvenirs, etc. So for me, that was, you know, quite significant. Just learning with the brothers and walking through the same streets that the prophets would have walked through.
Alhamdulillah. And Kamran, what about yourself?
It's definitely a place you want to go back to. Like, we literally brought back so many memories from what we gained from that trip. Not just like, you know, visiting places and stuff and going to, like, you know, that was literally one of the main things, but there were so many other places we could have visited too, because we were there for only 6 days, and our usually daily schedule would start in the morning. We would pray the Hajj together, you know, and then we would go out and on the coach and visit different places every single day. Apart from that, what I do want to mention is the hospitality the Gawabir Jamaat gave us, you know, how they responded to us, how they received us.
I mean, it's a very small Jamaat, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
there's about only 2,000 members of that Jamaat. Yeah, obviously, you know, they were able to look after such a big
Yeah,
bunch.
we were literally the first group, probably worldwide, not just UK,
Yeah.
to visit Gawabir
Mm.
ever. So you know, and that made us so special, because when we arrived in Gawabir at 3 a.m. in the morning, they literally had a free meal course ready for us, you know, ready to serve on the table. There were about 20 of them ready to serve us, you know, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning. The next day they would have to go to school, you know, and the kind of sacrifice and the kind of love they have for Khilafat and for us as brothers, like that was literally main thing, one of the key points to take back with us, basically. So that was one of the highlights for me.
So you know, just you know, so talking about the small things, sort of, you know, the weather, or you know, obviously you stayed there for about a week.
Yeah.
So what did you guys eat? Did you guys enjoy the food? What about communicating? Obviously, you speak Arabic over there.
Yeah.
So you know, how did you guys, you know, cope with all these things as well?
Communication for me, or I mean, obviously there were certain times when we obviously can't communicate with the people there because of the language barrier.
language
They either
also,
speak
yeah,
Hebrew
of course.
or Arabic. But surprisingly, a lot of them do know English as well. English is, you know, it's a common language worldwide. So a lot of people, alhamdulillah, we could communicate with them through English. And also, if there were any times that we didn't understand, then we had the Murabiyan on board, the Imams on board, who were able to translate for us. Other than that, you mentioned the weather. I got burnt actually. Today we went to one of the days we went to the beach, which everyone enjoyed. It was amazing. The weather was nice, a bit too nice. And we went to we were playing volleyball in the ocean, and we played football as well with some locals. And yeah, it was incredibly hot. It was so hot. Yeah, and I got burnt. There've been times in my life I didn't think that Asians could get burnt, but yeah, my skin was peeling. The food was amazing. Mediterranean, you know, the Mediterranean diet is going to be one of the best diets in the world. You can tell because they have so many salads. They got olive oil, olives, just natural foods. It's really, and you eat so much, but you don't feel stuffed. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just loads of salads that you're eating. But
It's the climate as well.
yeah, definitely. But alhamdulillah, everything, all the little things were amazing. And as Gamra mentioned, the hospitality is something that, you know, it's difficult for any other Jamaat to top. Because when I went in February, we stayed in the masjid in Haifa in Kabul, Masjid Mahmoud, and it's a small place. So even for 4 of us there, when I went in February, I thought, okay, no, this is not too much, but it's bearable. So when I got told that there's 38 of us staying in the masjid, I thought, nah, no way. Surely they'll have like other accommodation, but everything was fine. Like no one had any issues whatsoever. There was no dangi, there was no discomfort in terms of like lack of, you know, accommodation or lack of bedding or nothing. No issues whatsoever. So yeah, the little things added up,
And it's
definitely.
the blessings of the Jamaat as well, isn't it?
100%.
When we have this community, when we have a worldwide leader leading everyone and you know, guiding everyone to the straight path as well. We have this one sense of brotherhood. We have this sense of family as well. This sense of community. And it's amazing that wherever you go, whether you go Pakistan, whether you go India, whether you go Gawabir, the Middle East, whether you go East, the Far East, the West, the Far West, wherever you go, wherever the Jamaat is, wherever the community is established. I mean, His Holiness actually mentioned as well that the Ahmadi Muslim community is established in 212 countries as well worldwide. So Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, we established, you know, everywhere. And so wherever we go, wherever the community is, alhamdulillah, we have this sense of brotherhood as well. Farooq, you know, obviously being coming to or being one of the in charges of the trip as well, there was another trip which actually went to another Wakfino trip which actually went to Spain as well. And so, you know, and this was another trip to Gawabir. So there are different trips to various different countries as well. How is this, or how did your group or the Wakfino actually, the Wakfino department, how did they think of this scheme to get this group of Waqfin, to get this group of devotees and send them to different countries as well and experience different places?
So this idea was risen by our holy head of the community, His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmed, may Allah be his helper, and he initiated the Department of Waqf in the Khudam al-Ahmadiyya Auxiliary Organization of the youth in the community. And the main principle which he had in mind was that when the children get to the youth and the age which is between 15 to 39, they tend to go in their own paths in regards to career choice. So his mindset was that such trips should be organized to key places in the world which have religious backgrounds and significance. If you talked about Spain trip, which we had in October, I believe, which had a very big history behind it. That, as you know, that Spain was once a Muslim government, and history tells us that once we had a very strong hold in Spain, but the lack of morality and the lack of obedience tended to lose that land, and the Muslims lost that land due to their lack of tendency. So these trips are not just a mere by the organization team, but the thought is put forward to His Holiness, and he chooses that, okay, you can go there and this is what you need to do there. So when we went to Spain, he gave us a target that, okay, we need to do some leaflets, to distribute some leaflets, and also to talk to the community over there. And the one principle which we had for the Palestine trip was that there was obviously, which is mentioned by Mudabbir here, is that the land of Palestine is called the Holy Land because the majority of the prophets laid foot there as well. So this was the key principle of this trip.
Now, Sharjeel, you mentioned that obviously the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is spread to about 212 countries around the world. So we see that the community is growing itself, and as the community is growing, they need people in various sort of fields as well. They need doctors, they need students, they need people from all different areas, and obviously this is why this scheme of Waqf is so important. Now, Kamran, I wanted to come to you as well. Tell us a bit about what you're doing, and what's the sort of guidance you got from His Holiness.
Basically, I finished my broadcast journalism degree last year, and I've been helping out MTA International as well for the last 10, 11 years. However, I wanted a bit of guidance from Hazur, what I really want to do, because last year I went on a football academy, so I've been playing football for a long time, so that was really my desire to carry on, maybe try as a career. And getting guidance from Hazur, literally writing a formal letter to Hazur asking for permission if that was alright, because I had the right intention and determination to do so. And he responded to me saying, just go. Literally on my letter, you just just answered on the same letter. So I took that initiative and literally just went for it, but what made it special is just like, because a lot of people think, and that's for all the Waqf out there as well, who might be a bit lost, in what kind of career path they need to take. I'd advise to write a formal letter in what you really want to do. You don't want to do something in life what you're probably going to regret later, or do something which you're probably not passionate about. So we've got Hazur, who's really close to us, and he loves that we build relationship with him. He loves that we write letters to him, and he answers. He reads those letters, he signs them, and he guides us. And that's the best thing to have nowadays, to have his guidance. And there's millions of Ahmadis around the world, and there's going to be more and more and more every year. So inshallah. So it's that time to take advantage of that, because you never know how difficult it's gonna get in future time, you know. So, and that's the best thing to do right now. Literally, just to have a purpose, have a goal, and see what you can do. What we did have, we had the Mudabbir, my brother. He mentioned a great point whilst we were on our trip. We were on our coach, so we would like literally, you know, someone would do an azam, or someone would have a point. He would go up there and speak up in the mic, and what he did was he mentioned a point from Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani, Hazrat Khalifatul Sani, about you know, it doesn't matter what you do, you know, because there is a promise of God that Jamaat Ahmadiyya will dominate the world in every field, as long as you do that with the right intention and determination, you know. And us Waqf, you know, we shouldn't be worried about what we're going to do. Of course, Jamaat need lawyers, doctors, and you know, and architects and journalists and stuff. But if there's something else you need to do, you shouldn't be afraid, you know, in doing that, if that's what you really want to love. Because if you do that with the right intention and determination, that you want to spread the message as everyone else through what you do best, then that's possible, you know. And that's that.
So I mean, that brings us to a close of our show as well, as we only have 30 seconds remaining as well. And you know, if you do want to get in touch with us as well, you can do so by calling us on 0208 687 7878. You can listen to us on the breakfast show from 7 to 9 a.m. or you can tune in to the drive time show, which is from 4 to 6 p.m. And thank you boys for coming into the show as well. We've really enjoyed having you as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.